Good morning, Cancer, and welcome to your reading with Molly the Starkid at Starkidignited. Thank you so much for your understanding and patience. My deepest apologies. I wasn't able to get you and Gemini's videos out for August. I've been going through a lot with I've been in a cycle of homelessness, and you've probably noticed the backgrounds change a few times, but I'm hoping that that's going to be ending at the end of the month. So yeah, it was just a big wave of healing that I needed to embrace, and now that I'm nice and rested and ready, we're ready to do your reading. So this is going to be a bit extra long for your part 1 and for part 2. Hopefully we're going to dive deeper, just as a thank you for your understanding and for your patience. This is being recorded in September, but they're always timeless. So whenever you're drawn to watch this reading is the right time for you to receive the messages. And part 2 will always be on Patreon down below. So with that said, thank you so much for being here, and let's jump into your cards and see what your higher self wants to talk about and draw your attention to, Cancer. And so this is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and North Node. Okay. So Spirit, what is going on with Cancer? What messages do you have for Cancer for the next 30 days? Awesome. Okay. All right, Cancer. So your first card we get is Divine Sensuality. And this talks about making love and erotica. And then we also get the Sacrifice card in the reverse. And this talks about there are those worth making and there are those that will destroy you. Okay. So the first message I'm getting is there is a call to really acknowledge if you are making sacrifices, especially in a love relationship or someone that you're intimately connected with. It's really drawing your attention to that this sacrifice may not be worth it. If you're feeling like you're having to sacrifice your heart, your goodness, your soul, to put yourself on the line for somebody else, this is drawing your attention to that in a big way, showing you that it is not worth sacrificing what makes you special, what makes you wonderful. And we have 11 and 22, so that's very synchronistic. We have 2 master numbers here. Okay, so I get the feeling that if you're in a cycle where you're feeling like you need to sacrifice yourself in order to save someone else, to change someone else, to cross your own boundaries in order to make someone else happy, to put your feelings and what you cherish and what you want aside just to make an intimate partner happy, or in the hopes that one day they will change. Spirit is trying to show you right now, and also potentially through your own experience right now, that this is not worth it. This is not the lesson that you're meant to be learning, Cancer. There is no reason for you to twist and bend and mold yourself into something that somebody else wants, and to completely ignore what it is that you want and what's important and special to you and about you. Yeah. It can be easy when we're so kind and loving and sensitive and compassionate and understanding to want to mother our partners, to be that loving, supportive force that is so rare in this world and so sacred and so special and irreplaceable. But it's also good to remember that you have, that's something that makes you incredibly valuable, but to also understand when somebody is maybe using that against you, manipulating you to do what they want because they know how loving you are, they know how supportive you are, how willing you are to go the extra mile for those that you hold deepest and dearest in your heart. Another message for this as well is to show that once this self-sacrificing tendency has been released, or at least recognized, like for example when we go to university or college for Americans, and if we're we might be sacrificing 4 years of our life and getting no sleep in order to get this beautiful degree, and that might be a sacrifice worth making. There might be sacrifices such as going without extra comforts and extra money for a year or two in order to grow our own business. But we know in the long run it's going to pay off. But the way that I'm feeling with this is it can feel like, you know, like, oh, this person just needs extra love. They just need me to, you know, do what they want. And then it will pay off later. But what Spirit is trying to call your attention to as well is that you're already perfect. You're already so beautiful, Cancer, and you're already so kind and soft. And don't let somebody else mold you into the person that they want and not make any changes themselves, because what it will actually do is you'll get further and further away from your true essence. And what more happens is they will change you more than you will change them. You might have positive effects on them, but you don't realize, you know, how far away you're getting from your true essence and how much you're changing. Like, I've gone through this experience personally where you feel like if I can just show up for them, if I can just be more loving towards this person, that they will learn from it, they'll grow from it. But what actually happens is you're absorbing all that negativity, you're absorbing all the things that they refuse to change and trying to do all the work in the relationship. And you actually become more, well, I did become more, less compassionate. I became less trusting. I started to be fearful and angry and not recognize myself because I've changed so much for this other person without realizing, you know, what they were putting in and what they were actually doing, and not valuing who I was. And now that I've you know, come out of that situation, it takes a long time to build those blocks up again of who I truly am, and to feel valuable and to nurture myself again into being confident into being that person. So if you are in that kind of cycle, recognize it for what it is. Understand that you are already valuable, you're already sacred and special when this person found you, that you don't need to change for anyone. You're perfect exactly as you are. And if they're trying to make you feel that way, that is a projection. It's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And it's not your responsibility to change everyone. Because again, what I was saying is it's more likely that you will get twisted in the process, you'll get harmed in the process more than they will get healed or cured or changed from it. Okay, so I'll leave that there, but that is definitely a strong message that was coming through. The other message that I'm getting is once we start to recognize what sacrifices are worth making, like with uni or, you know, a job or you know, it's not bad to compromise in a relationship. It's just good to recognize what's being sacrificed more. But once you recognize this, I think you're going to become a lot softer, a lot more in your feminine power. You're going to be able to have a bigger heart space, hold a lot more loving, passionate energy, a lot more sensual energy in your body, in your heart, once you stop making sacrifices for people or for situations that don't feed into you, that don't give to you. And you have those strong boundaries and you know what you're letting in, what you're not. Because the more that we protect ourselves and, you know, we open the gates to what is what is valuable and what is nurturing and nourishing to us, and we close the gates to things that just want to take from us or would seek to harm us, then we actually grow bigger. We actually expand because we feel safer. We feel more appreciated and valued and loved for who we truly are, and that allows our aura to expand, our soul to expand, and to become more of what we truly are. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to really get in touch with that divine sensuality, that making love with yourself, with others, but like obviously in a sexual way, but obviously like love is so much more, sensuality is so much more than just that. It's about like bringing loving touch into our lives, whether that's through like, you know, self-touch, you know, getting a massage, going and making like a beautiful art piece with our hands, beautiful smells, like beautiful, all kinds of ways that we use our senses to create love in our own environment. Whereas like, you know, these days it's a lot of Western society, it kind of minimizes it down to like divine sensuality must just be sex. That's it. Like, you know, that instant gratification kind of world. Whereas making love can literally be like a partner just stroking you up and down on your arm for an hour, and you just being in bliss, like enjoying the comfort and the love of that gesture. You know, it can also be someone making you a beautiful meal and showing you how much they love you through wanting you to feel nourished and appreciated, and making you something that's going to make you feel really good and really special. Like, wow, this person, you know, made me a lasagna and I love lasagna. Or like, this person made me like a beautiful paleo gluten-free meal that they took all my dietary requirements into, they had them all in mind when they were creating this for me. And I know it wouldn't have been easy, so I really appreciate it. Or just different ways that you can feel like honored for your whole divine self, rather than being forced to bend and mold into what someone else wants of you. Being accepted for your fullness, being loved and appreciated and valued for the fullness of who you are. And nothing is hard to love about you, nothing is too much, it's all special, it all makes up the beautiful, unique being that you are, and being appreciated and loved for that. Okay, and it could also obviously have to do with like, maybe you're being encouraged to really get to know your divine sensual side a bit more. What feels erotic to you, what feels passionate, what feels good and pleasurable, whether that is something that's more sexual, maybe opening up to someone that, or something, or even to yourself, being able to explore this part of you without shame, without guilt, knowing that pleasure is like something so sacred and so beautiful. Like, if you can imagine, like, obviously, I don't know if you believe in this, but if you believe in like our soul is an energetic being, coming down into this realm, into this world where we have bodies, where everything's dense and it's hard sometimes, but like, as a soul, we can't give somebody a hug, we can't stroke somebody's hair. Like, as an energy being, you can definitely share love and give love, but it's in a different way. Whereas when we come down here, these are gestures and acts that are so special and divine to this realm. So knowing that giving pleasure to someone in whatever way that you seek to do that, or seek to receive that, is a very divine, sacred act. It's something special that we miss when we leave these bodies and we leave this realm behind. So enjoying that, not letting anybody take that away from you, knowing that it's a divine birthright and it's something beautiful and sacred that you came down here to experience, and you deserve to experience that. Okay, well, let's jump into getting some more cards. So how have Cancer been feeling right now? Okay, cool. So the first card that we get, Cancer, is Instinct with the little turtles. And it's about like following your instincts. You know, when turtles hatch, they're on this like, they hatch into the sand on a beach. They're not in the water where they need to be, and they literally just have to follow their instincts and climb their way down almost blindly to the water. And there's lots of different predators that can eat them, that can kill them, obviously, but so like, obviously we have turtles, so they have this like innate instinct and knowledge of how to go towards that which is truly their home, what they're meant for, and they do that. You know, obviously, potentially not all of them make it, but the vast majority do, and that's through following their instincts. It's a necessary cycle of not needing to overthink right now, but to follow your heart, follow what feels instinctual, what feels like, you know, I feel like I should just do this. Go in with those thoughts and feelings, and not over judging yourself, not over criticizing yourself, just going towards what feels good, and knowing that you're making your way to what is truly meant for you as you follow your instincts during this time. Because what we also have is Grief with Whale and Mangroves with Innovation. So there might be something that you feel like you've lost during this cycle, whether that's a person, a relationship, a job, even like a part of ourselves. Sometimes when the grief card comes up, it's Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, like just feeling like, you know, really heavy, turbulent emotions, maybe feeling a little bit confused, not sure how you're going to make it through this time. Having reminders come up of this thing that you feel like you've lost. And as I was saying, yeah, like it can be a part of ourselves as well. Like sometimes we grieve an old version of ourselves that we miss, like we want to go back to, but we just know it's not right for us anymore, where our instincts are pulling us a certain way. And there might be feelings and emotions and thoughts that are coming up saying like, yeah, but remember when we did this and this, like it was so much easier maybe. And I almost think of it as like when we've shed an old skin, and that's a really painful process. Like we feel more raw and just vulnerable after, like you can imagine if you shed your whole skin, you'd feel pretty raw and vulnerable, and there might even be temptations to put on that old skin again, but you know instinctively it doesn't fit anymore, and you're having to go forward, and that your new vulnerable tender self is more beautiful and more authentic to you now, even if it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to. So yeah, it does feel like there's something that you're perceiving that you've lost, but your instincts are trying to drive you forward, and you know how to get through this situation even though it's difficult. And with mangroves here, it's talking about innovation. It's talking about like how I can't remember the whole story that Laura Boehm talks about. These are her cards. Talks about with the mangroves, but I remember that they like kind of come through the mud like little straws, like finding ways to breathe through this like terrain that they're not that would be hard to survive in as like as a tree or as a mangrove. So this is about adapting, about accepting the environment that we're in and finding new ways to thrive and survive and get through, and allowing like our creativity to lead us, and allowing like the highest self, or our inner being, our heart, the creative spark within us that knows, that survival instinct almost, that knows how to get us through anything, even though like our conscious logical mind is like, I don't have this and that, it's not going to work, how am I going to do this, and like 1,000 questions start coming up, freaking us out, and we're already in these heavy emotions. It's about calming our hearts, calming our mind, inviting our higher wisdom to come through, and just taking one step at a time, and knowing that we have the intelligence, we have the courage and the instincts to be able to get through this time, even though it's difficult. And we may need to be more creative, more innovative, think of new ways to get all our needs met, but they will get met, that it's going to be okay. And we're just needing to rely on that part of ourselves right now to get through. Okay, so let's jump into some tarot cards now. I hope this is resonating for you guys. If it is, don't forget to like, share, and comment down below if you feel comfortable. Just to, you can always let me know what's going on with you. Sometimes it's nice to just, get something out if we don't feel like we have anyone to speak to at the moment. Okay, all right. So I'm going to ask a question. So what is Cancer's current energy, Spirit? What do you want to talk to them about? What is Cancer's current energy? What is their current energy right now? Okay, so we get the Three of Swords. So there is an element of heartbreak here, of especially with the mind. You may have 3 different people around you giving you advice while you're in this state of heartbreak and grief, and maybe people aren't really understanding everything that you've gone through right now. The Three of Swords always talks about like the quality of our life is directly related to the quality of the questions that we ask. So, like the Three of Swords can sometimes feel like, to me, like, why is this happening to me? Why did this person do, X, Y, and Z? Or why am I in this situation? Like, I don't understand, or what's wrong with me? Whereas when we can shift those questions from like a feeling of despair to a feeling of empowerment, we can start getting some like higher wisdom come through, some new answers come through. So for example, asking ourselves like, okay, I'm really upset about this. I don't understand why it's happening, but what did I learn from the situation? Or what maybe was this person teaching me? How is this providing me with, what is this giving to me? What am I getting that I didn't have before? So for example, if someone's been, horrible to us and we've had to like cut them off and leave them behind, then maybe we've learned through that cycle, even though it's obviously a harsh lesson that no one wants to learn. But like we learned, okay, like I now know when enough's enough, and I know that I have the power to walk away when my heart tells me to. It's all about like changing, like taking these swords out of our heart and then giving our heart the time it needs to heal from those wounds. So potentially we have a belief of like, like I'm never good enough. I always attract bad partners and I need to take what I get because I'm not worth anything. And it's about taking those swords out, removing those beliefs, and then tending to that wound of like, okay, where did this come from? Why have I been treating myself like this? Like I know that these things aren't true, but somewhere in my childhood or somewhere early on, I got that message and I believed it and I put that sword in there. Okay, let's see what is challenging Cancer. Wow, okay, so we get the Seven of Swords. So this can be like a betrayal energy, feeling like someone stole something from us. Especially it can be like, like someone being sneaky with their words. It could be something where we've found out about a betrayal like on someone's phone, or someone's sent us a message giving us information that we didn't have before, where we're able to see someone who was being sneaky, who was being deceitful. It looks like he's kind of like stealing these swords from this town and trying to get away with something. And 3 + 7 = 10. So the 10 of Swords, I feel like you're in a really defeated energy about whatever this person, this card represents, whether it's a situation where you feel like something was stolen from you, something was taken from you, like your ideas, or it does feel like, obviously with that heart there, like it feels like your love, like it feels like someone's gotten away with something, they've taken advantage of you. And the challenge right now is to again, to see things in a new light and to be there for yourself, to remove some of these old beliefs and old ideas and old truths. And let's get further into it. So being challenged with a betrayal, with a deceit, what was the past energy? Okay, we have the 4 of Pentacles. And so in relation to this, I see this as like, you may have been holding on to something really tightly, being really like a very stuck energy, trying to just keep things stable in the physical. You may have been really trying to save money and spend it wisely, like being really tight with your resources. And it also could be that like, if this was another person, maybe that there was a lot of like financial strain on you guys. And so you were having to be very careful with everything that you were doing. Maybe like if this person was like someone that's controlling or a bit manipulative, maybe they were checking your finances often, really putting strain and pressure on you, and so you were feeling like you really had to watch every dollar. It could also just be an energy where like you're really trying to hold on to what you had, not wanting to lose anything, really being like focused on not losing something. But then what that actually caused as well was like things weren't able to come in. As much as you didn't want things to come out, it was blocking off new opportunities and new forms of wealth and abundance from coming into your life as well. So let's see, what is the upcoming energy? Yeah, okay, and we get the Ace of Swords. So it does feel like the truth is going to come out about this person. If you have been feeling kind of like left in the dark and heartbroken and not able to see things clearly, this represents spirit like giving you some answers, giving you the truth. It's going to be, as we can see, like a divine hand coming down. The sword being able to cut through all the bullshit, cut through all the BS, cut through all the manipulation and see something clearly. It also might be a new idea or a new perspective that you're getting, or a new truth being revealed to you. Sorry, my dog just left the building. Okay. And so let's see, what is Cancer conscious of right now, Spirit? What are they focused on? What is their conscious energy? Okay, all right, well, that's pretty self-explanatory. We got the Two of Cups and the Eight of Cups. So Cancer, I think that you're like 2 and 8 together equals 10 again. So we've got 2 10s here. You've been really focused on love, on wanting to find your soulmate, on wanting to find, you know, that person that's going to complete you, that's going to fully understand you. But with the Eight of Cups here, there's also a focus of knowing that whoever it is that you're involved with, with this challenge coming out, you know that they're not your soulmate. You know that they're not right for you, and that although you've invested greatly in this emotional situation, that you need to walk away from it. In order, say, in the Eight of Cups, he's walking away from, you know, all this, again, like emotional investment, but he walks away and then he comes into the Nine of Cups, which is like a wish fulfillment, which is like, you know, our dreams coming true. So it does feel like, you know, you're very focused on wanting that soulmate, wanting that divine partner, but you're also knowing that you can be that person to yourself. You can give yourself the love, the care, the devotion that you need, and you're aware that you need to walk away from this person. But I just feel like you are very heartbroken about it and potentially just worried about, you know, like how you're going to keep everything together. But if this person's been draining you, if this person has been betraying you and getting away with things, you're better off just going off on your own. Even if it's difficult, even if it's hard, you deserve to find your ultimate happiness. You deserve to find that true person that is going to love you and show up for you in all the ways that you love and show up for others. And you can't do that if someone's constantly taking advantage of you. Okay, and what's happening below the surface? What's in the subconscious that Cancer may not be aware of, Spirit, but that is influencing? Okay, is there anything else? Yeah, okay, so there's a subconscious energy of the Hierophant. So this can represent like a spirit guide, you know, like a high priest, like our spirit team really speaking to us, coming through, trying to get our attention. It can also show me, because it's a card of Taurus, and Taurus is all about values and you know, like, yeah, the different like beliefs we have as well. This can show that this could be some old beliefs and you know, like even like obviously in the tarot this is religious beliefs. So if you grew up in a religious family, it can be something where you're kind of having to challenge some of those old religious beliefs. For example, like you know, there's a lot of religions that are against divorce. It's like once you're with someone, you can't undo that no matter what they do to you. So it could be something like that, where you're needing to make a decision where you go against the beliefs and values that were handed down to you from your parents or from your culture or from your society. There's a real challenge to that old belief system, and you're needing to, you know, rather than accept, you know, the dogma of what other people are handing down, to really make your own decision. Because we have the Two of Swords here as well, where you are feeling blinded by the situation. You're feeling like you don't know which way to go. But what Spirit is trying to show you is that like this is obviously affecting this heartache, this issue where you might be judging yourself really harshly for and it's making it hard to follow your heart and do what you know is right. But the other interpretation of this as well is that like your spirit guides are giving you the answers. They're trying to lead you out of this Two of Swords energy. They're sending you signs and synchronicities and giving you the information that you need to be able to confidently shift your values, to not shift your values, but to recognize if there are any beliefs that no longer serve you, that actually don't align with your values, that you're needing to address in order to get yourself out of the situation and move on to something better. Okay, so let's see. Can we just get one card for how would Cancer's higher self deal with this situation? Cool. Okay, yeah, I said one card, so I'll do one card. Okay, and we get the Star, Cancer, which is a sign of, again, like wish fulfillment. It's a sign of Aquarius. It's all about doing something differently, breaking out of the mold and going after our dreams, following the stars, following our, our North Star, our guidance system, following what feels most soulful, heart-centered, moving towards our dreams, and something that we know is truly inspiring, uplifting, renewing our hope in ourselves, in what's possible for life, and going after that. It's a very grounded energy. We can see that she's kneeling there, so grounding yourself, and she's also pouring water out. So there is two interpretations of this where you may need to be sharing your emotions with someone that you really trust, that you know is not going to judge you. So pouring out some of those feelings in a way where you can feel loved and supported during this time. And it's also showing you that, you have divine wisdom from this situation. You have divine wisdom just innately in you. And going after your dreams where you can share of yourself, you can share of that higher knowledge that you've been receiving, and you can help others and be of service to others in a way that's truly going to fulfill you and going to bring you a lot of happiness and joy and renew your faith in life again. As it's a sign of Aquarius's card as well, it's all about like loving yourself for your uniqueness, your difference, and allowing that to shine through. And knowing that when you are your true self, you attract people that truly want to love and support you for who you really are, and not try and change you and not try and mold you to what they expect. Okay, so let's get some higher self cards. So we get change is coming with all the butterflies. So butterflies might be synchronistic to you right now. You might be seeing a lot of butterflies. Pay attention if you do see any around you, because they're signifying change, but also your transmutation, your transformation into this more authentic and more beautiful and stronger version of yourself. So Archangel Michael is here to guide you through this exciting transformation. This is a time of joyous opportunities. And you can see how many butterflies are around her. So I feel like you're going to be attracting so many new opportunities that you've always wanted to you once you make this decision and this truth is revealed to you. We also get Archangel Michael is with you now. Even though you can't see it, I am actively working on this situation. I am here and helping you. So remind yourself that even when you can't see it with your physical eyes, there is so many angels and guides and just the universe itself orchestrating situations and things to help you out of the situation, to get you somewhere where you're going to be truly appreciated, where life is going to open up for you again, and you're going to feel that there are opportunities and places for your joy and your happiness and abundance all around you. Okay, I'm going to pull you a pleasure oracle card now. This is by Jericho Mandiba. And yeah, we'll see what this deck has to say. So for the Cancer Collective Spirit, what card would you like for them to... Oh, okay. So we get two for you, Cancer. This is your first card, very purple. It reminds me of the star with all these stars on it. So, and this says, come home to yourself. So, dearest one, you've been gone so long, wandering far outside of yourself, looking for something, someone to lighten your load, to feed you, clothe you, tell you just how many years they've waited for you to journey their way, how tired your feet grow, how heavy your heart, and yet you still wander. Action. But if you get quiet and still in meditation, you hear me calling from inside your ribcage, calling from deep between your ears and at the bottom of your belly, whispering, I'm right here and I have everything I need, telling you to stop searching out there, to come home to yourself. Oh, that's so synchronistic for everything we've been talking about, Cancer. And this isn't to say that you're not going to have that perfect person or that wonderful, loving energy to share your heart with, but it's going to be in your highest and best to find that within yourself, to come and give yourself some loving, nurturing guidance and sweetness right now to help get you through this time and to create a stronger bond with self, so that you're attracting someone that has that same relationship with themselves as well, and they can really pour into you and you can pour into them, because you guys love yourself first. Okay, and then the next card we get, with more stars and some beautiful orange hair there, is the Kindred Seeker. To take the path of your sensual seeker is to commit yourself to forever explore your emotional, physical, and mental terrains in the name of love. You'll meet others on your passage, but not all are seekers like you. Plenty have no interest in self-acceptance, let alone self-love. And those who cannot love themselves cannot love you. Wow, I didn't even know I was going to say that. Okay, exactly though. Action. Make a list of 30 essential qualities you desire in a kindred seeker. Find people who aim for knowledge in all things. Find those who pursue pleasure wholeheartedly, because they know the more we each feel whole, alive, and powerful, the better off this beautiful blue boat we call Earth will be. We're all voyaging together after all. Safe journeying. Oh, Cancer, that's so beautiful and synchronistic. Yeah, it's so important to create that awesome, strong relationship with yourself, to truly love yourself, to untangle and unchain all the old beliefs and limitations that other people have put on you, who never even loved themselves, whether that's our parents, our society, our teachers, like whatever influence we had, and to remember how sacred and how beautiful we truly are, how much stronger we all are together when we love ourselves and we release ourselves from shame and judgment, and we start seeing people's differences and uniqueness as complementary rather than competitive, and we grow bigger and stronger and more beautiful through that knowledge and through that love. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope this message resonated for you. Again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone who's booked a private reading, who's donated to the channel, just for your likes, shares, and comments. I love them and I appreciate them so much. I'm going to jump over to part 2, where we're going to look in more detail at love, career, and money. And until next time, stay full of love. I hope you get through this. I know that you will. And bye, guys.